It's finally here, Wreckfest, and it's time for a review, my promised review of this game. Finally, I got this about a week ago, a couple of days late actually, 29th, and I've been playing now this for a few days, and first of all I have to say I haven't touched the online because I don't have PlayStation Plus membership, or I haven't played the career mode. I've been playing the exhibition modes, destruction derbies, and those racing tracks, just to get feel of the game and the controls, and overall learn how to play it and drive before I get to the career mode. So I don't have anything to say about the career mode so far. I'm not sure if I will make a separate kind of review or whatever video when I have played the career mode, but right now I'll review this game as what I have seen and learned from the exhibition mode. And it's been so long journey for Bugbear, of course, to get this game out, and finally we gamers can play it, and it's been a very long wait for us gamers too. Last year's the end of last year it was supposed to come out, but then Bugbear said it's delayed indefinitely, and we just heard this summer, I think it was July or something, that it finally has a release date, and I was so excited about that. Yeah, but now let's get to the game itself. First of all, the game is absolutely great, as I expected. It's just the kind of racing game what you expect from Bugbear. It's very similar to flat out games, but of course it's more realistic, even of course with today's technology and the power you can use on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The physics models are absolutely fantastic, as I honestly was expecting, no less. The crashes are so meaty, and they are just so gorgeous to watch. To car parts fly everywhere, and cars fly everywhere, and yeah, it's just a pure fun, and the controls, of course, in a car game, it's pretty much all about the controls also, and I'm very glad to say they really nailed the controls, and also flat out games had flat out 1 and 2 had good controls, but Wreckfest takes it even more realistic direction. you can really feel the mass and heaviness of the vehicles, and as you turn, you can really feel there's no floaty, like they don't feel floaty at all, like in so many racing games. That's the main problem, because the cars feel so floaty, and it's hard to control them. You can't really control them properly, but here the controls are almost perfect, and I would like to say the game has driving aids like ABS, traction control, and I think there are 3 driving aid options, but I highly recommend you to disable all those driving aids. Of course, when you play it for the first time, I also recommend you just take a few races with the driving aids enabled, but once you've get used to that the game itself, I really recommend you to disable driving aids, because it makes the game so much better. I honestly myself realized how much more fun the game is when those driving aids are disabled. It feels so much better. So yeah, even if you're not a veteran of racing games, I still recommend you to disable those driving aids. Yes. Then let's talk a little bit about graphics. I would say the graphics department of the game, the graphics are not gorgeous, but they are very good. But of course, there's really no, like in many action games, there are so many great special effects, and it's a kind of eye candy. The devs are trying really to make the game really eye candy for the gamers to really absorb the visuals and really enjoy it. But here Bugbear really focused on a realistic look, of course, because it's a destruction derby game, and almost all of the tracks are kind of forest tracks, or there's so much nature, trees, rocks, just dirt roads, and so it really focused on realism. It doesn't really play with the effects or anything else, and for that the graphics are what you can expect from a realistic looking game. So of course it looks good. I have an original PlayStation 4. It does say it supports 4K on PlayStation Pro consoles, but of course I can only pay. I have 4K TV, but since I only have PlayStation 4 original, have to settle with 1080p resolution. And there are no HDR support that even the original PlayStation 4 can support HDR. So I'm a little bit disappointed that Wreckfest doesn't support HDR on at least on the original PlayStation 4. I'm not sure about the PlayStation Pro, but I think if it doesn't support HDR on the original console, then it doesn't support it on the Pro either, if I remember it right. And then the audio side of the game, well, as you expect, the sound effects of collisions and metal grinding against metal, they are insanely good. Really nice sound effects. As of sound effects, there's not much anything else, but yeah, it's all about the the brutality of the game, and it really shines through the sound effects. Really meaty sound effects, and music contains mostly of heavy music, the kind of more modern heavy music. There are metalcore, there are I would say mostly metalcore and some other genres of modern metal. So I really like mostly I like the soundtrack of the game, and I also love that those rock and metal tracks play as you race, but on the menus there are more electronic focused tracks, and there is one particular old school sounding big beat trance track that I really fucking love. So I wasn't expecting nowadays the game to have a big beat slash trance kind of electronic music, because it's so late 90s, early 2000 thing, the big beat and especially trance music. But I really love trance and big beat, so that was a big surprise for me that the game has the old school soundtracks also, at least in the menus. Then I would like to say discuss about the details of the racing itself. There are many options you can choose. There are you can set the laps on races from 3 to even 60, which is just fucking crazy. I just mostly play 3 to 6 laps, and there are very important thing to say is that there are on the races and also on the Destruction Derby arenas, there are 23 other cars with you, so it's 24 cars. I think that is good enough. I honestly was expecting more like something 16, not 60, 16. Oh, that would be great to have 60. But yeah, definitely enough cars on the races, and you can set the you know, what do you call it? Well, you can say it. Do you race at dawn, day, dusk, night? You can set that. But there are no weather effects. There's no rain. There's no snow. So that's a little bummer. But well, I guess you can't have anything, everything. What else? I can't really think of anything else to say about those modifications, about the races itself. But and there's of course replays you can watch, but that's just when, well, you expect that from any racing game really, but they are really fun to watch, those replays, but I think if you plan to race more than 10 laps or something, it does say that it doesn't save the whole replay of your race. So yeah, there are a little bit restrictions there. And now let's go to only, I would say, one negative thing about this game, and it's the lack of local multiplayer. When I heard last year that this game is going to be delayed indefinitely and just said it's coming in 2019, I immediately thought that okay, now they have definitely time to add at least a 2-player split screen. But unfortunately, Bugbear didn't do that. I mean, the game really screams the local multiplayer. Honestly, I think so. But there could be reasons why they didn't, and one reason could be just that the PlayStation 4, at least the original PlayStation 4, or maybe even Pro, has not enough power to really run smoothly on split screen, because like I said, this game doesn't look that good, but what really uses the power and makes PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to the pushes it to the limit are the physics models and how much debris and shit flies all over the place. So I'm pretty sure that if it would have included the split screen, they would had to make sacrifices, you know, poorer frame rate, only, you know, 20, because right now I forgot to say that it's locked at 30 frames per second, but it's not 60, but I think it's still good enough, fair enough, to have locked 30 frames. But yeah, they probably would have made sacrifices to frames per second to make it lower, and also decrease the amount of cars on the track. So it would probably be, you know, something like only, let's say, 12 cars, and that would have really hurt the, you know, because Wreckfest and other destruction derby games, they are more fun the more cars you have on track, I think. So yeah, that's the only negative thing, but don't get me wrong, this game, like I said, it's the only, and it's not ruining the game in any way. I think the game is absolutely stunning in all other apartments, and I would like to give this game even 9.5 out of 10. Yes. A stunning game. Bugbear, you fucking made it again. You are the masters of destruction derby games, and you really proved that through this gem once again. And now that's out of the way, I have to, or I don't have to, but I like to, I'd like to say a few things about my special mini review of my other vehicular combat slash destruction derby slash whatever. It's really really crazy game, and not sure if you have heard of this game. Probably you have heard of this game series, but I'm not sure if you have heard about this.